We all get the same 24 hours in a day. That's really 1,440 minutes. Yep, even those uber successful people that you look up to, they get the same 24 hours and the same 1,440 minutes. How we spend those hours and minutes is important to get to those big goals we've just set for ourselves here in 2023. I have a challenge for this week, and I have 5 time saving hacks that I know you're going to love. So come on, let's reclaim your 24 hours and 1,440 minutes. Welcome to Ladies Kicking Ass. I'm your host, Tanya Wilson, and I'm crazy passionate about encouraging women to tell their hard-earned stories, provide coaching and creative ideas to help you build the service business of your dreams. What's different about this podcast? Well, we are real, and that means most of us are trying to juggle all the things. Being an entrepreneur, mama, wife, sister, friend, doggy mama, and all those other titles that we love. This life is a dance, and we celebrate every twist, step, and dip along the way. This show chats about our wins, our losses, business, relationships, family, and how to get the hell out of our own way and believe in ourselves and our big ideas. The Ladies Kickin' Ass community is full of strong, generous women who support, mentor, and cheer for each other. So, come on, let's get inspired and learn something new today. Welcome to the Ladies Kickin' Ass podcast. Time hacks. What the hell is a time hack? Well, it's a not so genius idea of how to better spend your time, kind of like it just sounds. I say not so genius because, well, it really doesn't take a genius to get the most out of your day. It takes focus, dedication, preparation in all capital letters, and some determination. Will you get this right all the time and 100% right away? No way. Don't even set yourself up for that. But as with anything, practice gets us progress, and progress gets us to those big fun places we're dreaming of being. I've prepared a little bit of a shorter episode to share with you today, but I think it's great that it comes out on a Monday and it's 5 awesome time hacks that I'm incorporating into my own life this week. And I think that they will actually work for me as a business entrepreneur, a wife, and a mom. I've kind of put them all together. I hope that they will help you too. So let's go ahead and dive in and we'll get to number one. My number one time hack, tinier time blocking. If you've listened to most of my podcasts, you know that I talk about time blocking a lot. I love it. It is an essential for me to make the proper time to get all those things done that I need to do within the day. But I also realize that I've been giving myself a generous amount of time to get these things done. Like I have 4-hour time blocks to work with one of my team members. Do we really need all 4 hours of that, or do we spend half of that time just chatting? I know in my work life, there's a lot of the latter. So I'm challenging myself right now to make those time blocks half the size they are. The reason for that, if you give yourself 3 hours to get something done, it's probably going to take you 3 hours. If you give yourself 30 minutes, you can bust some ass and you can get a lot of things done in 30 minutes. So I'm really going to work hard this week on cutting my time blocks in half and seeing how much time I really do need or if that is actually sufficient enough to get those tasks completed. And then I have a lot of unblocked time that I can work on the things that I want to be working on, which is fantastic. And those things that we tend to tell ourselves that we don't have time to do, we can now get those off of the parking lot and we can get them on our list as another little time block. So, I hope that makes sense to you. Tinier time blocks. If you have something that you're saying, okay, I'm going to meal prep for 4 hours on Sunday. Does it really take you 4 hours? Or do you stop and watch a football game for a little bit with your hubby and then kinda hang out with the kids? Then you're like, "I could have got all the shit done in an hour, but here I am giving myself 4 hours to get it done. What else could I have done in those other 3 hours?" And I'm not saying that they have to be super productive in those 3 hours. Give yourself 2 hours to get that done, and then clear the rest of your schedule so you can do whatever you want on Sunday. Time hack number 2. Prepare your ass off. It means just what I said. Preparing for anything makes things so much easier, and we are told that all of the time. But when in the hell do you have time to prepare? I don't time block that very well, and you probably don't either. We time block what is going on at that particular time, but we don't time block the preparation that it takes to get ready for those things. That stops now, and we're gonna start adding it to the calendar. I'll spend 30 minutes, for example, after dinner preparing for the next morning by making sandwiches for my kids for their lunches, filling up water bottles and putting them in the fridge, making sure that my kids know where their shoes are and that their clothes are out, that I have checked my schedule for the next day and that I'm prepared for whatever might be happening the next day. I have checked in with my team members via our Slack channel and I have answered all questions that need to be answered. The purpose for this is so that you don't keep yourself up in the middle of the night, waking up from a dead sleep in freak out mode. Oh my God, I forgot something. Preparing will save your life. I do it sometimes, but I'm not very consistent with it. So that's going to be a big one for me this week. And I hope you'll hold me and yourselves accountable for doing this. Automate anything and everything, or mostly, is my time hack number 3. There are so many different ways that you can automate your bajillion tasks that you have to take on every day as a working mom. Automation means that you set it up and it does the task repeatedly without you having to touch it. Automated services coming to your home, your water delivery, your bills get paid on time, your business communications go out at a specific time, your social media marketing is scheduled out for the month so you can set it and forget it. And your email marketing is set up for specific dates and you've got a plan for the entire year as to what you're going to communicate to your audience. Oh, and there are so many ways to do this. One tip I will give you on this, though, as you automate, make a list of those automations and keep them all together somewhere where you know you can find them. There is nothing worse than if you've got automatic bill pay set up on a particular debit or credit card, and then you lose that card and you're like, "Oh shit, which ones do I have hooked up to this?" It is incredible to have a list of those automations that you have already put together, so you can go back and review them every couple of months and make sure that you want them to continue to keep running the way that you have set them up. Sometimes with set it and forget it, we literally forget it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look at your bank statement for the last 3 months, and you will be astonished how much, either in business or personal, you pay on subscription fees for things that you set up to use once, or it was a trial version of something and you forgot to, um, cancel the subscription. I had, like, 5 different television streaming systems coming. I had literally been paying for an email marketing service that I hadn't used since 2020, and I just found it in my business, and I'd been paying $62 a month for it. It's little things like that, like, really going back and checking, "What do I need to automate?" And then, "How can I do this in the best way possible moving forward?" Definitely do that, but write everything down. My time hack number 4 is to set digital limits on your time sucks, and we all have them. But many times we hate to admit it. I mean, you love them. That's why you let them suck your time. If you don't know what your time sucks are, ask your husband or ask your kids. They can tell you. because they see you spend your time there. For most of us, it's social media, whether it is scrolling Instagram, Pinterest, highly guilty there, numbing your mind with countless video scrolls on TikTok, or binging on Netflix, YouTube, or even playing video games for hours on end. We all have a place that takes valuable time away from the things that we truly want to work for and truly love, like your friends, your family, and yourself. Another good way to figure out what it is that is potentially sucking your time is that fun little thing if you're on an Apple phone that sends out to you a weekly report. Mine comes on Sunday morning and it tells me how I've spent my time on my phone and how much I've been on my phone. Some weeks it's astonishing. And because you just pick it up and look at it here and look at it there and look at it here and looking at it here, and then you look at it and you're like, "Holy shit, I was on Pinterest for 8 hours this week. What could I have done?" And that I wasn't working on Pinterest. I was just dreaming about stuff to put in my new mansion that's someday gonna come to fruition. And I know sometimes you just need to drown out, and that's fantastic. And sometimes you just need to find a zone out spot and you need to be able to let your mind go there. That's great. But set a time limit on it so you don't get sucked down the rabbit hole. You can reclaim your time by setting digital time limits on your app. If you struggle with TikTok, Aisley, my daughter, I'm talking to you, and you want to never be on it for more than 30 minutes a day, then set that limit on your phone and it will kick your butt out when it hits that time. It's truly genius. Got an issue with binge watching TV? Log out of your account or move your remote to an inconvenient place so you have to work to get it on. There are so many ways we can beat the binge. I'd love to hear your takes on this. And moms, we are so hard on our kids for spending so much time on their devices. Where do you think they learn that from? It's from us. I can't tell you how many times I tell my kids, "You've been on that phone long enough. Get off your phone." And I make them go plug them in and get off of them, and then they come downstairs and guess what I'm doing? Sitting on my phone and not doing anything important. So make sure that we're setting a good example for them too. Now I've called it to your attention. You know better, so you can do better. And finally, time hack number 5 is no is a complete sentence. I'm gonna say it again because ladies have a hard time with this. No is a complete sentence, and you need to start using it now. If you are a recovering people pleaser, hand raised super high over here, and a diehard servant leader, this one is a tough one, but wholly necessary for you to reclaim your time. If you don't learn to say no and mean it without explanation, you don't owe that to 99% of the people that you actually feel like you need to give one to. You will have a very hard time reclaiming your time. My dear friend, you cannot be everywhere for everyone and make everyone happy, no matter how hard you try. Remember the airplane speech. Put your air on first, then help others around you. Many times as women, we give up our personal time, time for ourselves, to help everyone else around us because we feel somehow that it's our responsibility for them not to get their feelings hurt. We feel like for some reason it's selfish to actually want to do something for ourselves. And you need to change that thinking now. It is not true. The only person you are letting down is yourself. So make a promise to yourself that you're going to make time for yourself every damn day. You are going to leave blocks of time unscheduled to do you things. You must follow through on this. It is so incredibly important. Keeping a promise to yourself helps your confidence grow like a sunflower, tall, strong, and unwavering. And girl, when you believe in yourself and you start keeping promises to yourself, like saying no, you I can't even begin to explain to you what that does to your emotional well-being, your aptitude to take on bigger tasks, your ability to process things that you start. It totally deflates a large portion of this imposter syndrome when you make a promise to yourself that you're going to take some time or that you're going to do something or you're going to take this class or finish this project or do something. You have to keep your promise to yourself. It is more important than keeping it to everybody else. Many times we don't talk very nice to ourselves, and many times we have a hard time defining time for ourselves, but we have to do it in order to learn what we want, to complete what we want, and to show ourselves that we are valuable human beings and that we can do whatever we put our mind to. So I hope that these 5 challenges and 5 time hacks will really help you get through your week this week. Again, remember tiny your time blocking, prepare your ass off, automate anything and everything, set digital limits on your time sucks, and no is a complete sentence. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Ladies Kickin' Ass podcast. I hope you loved it. Hey, if you got a lot out of today's show and you think a friend of yours may love it too, please do me a really quick favor. Screenshot the episode, post it, tag us at Ladies Kickin' Ass, or share the link to the episode. I'm here to help and support as many ladies as I can, and your generosity in sharing the show means the world to me. Don't forget, hit subscribe to be notified of all newly released episodes, and leaving the show a 5-star review is the ultimate expression of love for our team. If you're interested in becoming a guest on the podcast, I would so love to hear from you. Shoot me a DM on Instagram or Facebook and we'll chat further. Thank you for being part of our tribe, and until next time, go kick some ass, lady.